In a world where podcasts and radio just isn't the same anymore. Well, fear no more, because Squirrely and The Bean are here to save your day. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy the smooth-sounding voices of the Squirrely and The Bean podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Squirrely and The Bean podcast. I'm The Bean.
I'm Squirrely.
How you doing out there, people? How you doing, Squirrely?
I'm doing pretty good.
You're doing good. Been eating your apples, Boro?
More acorns.
More. Oh, yeah. Right on. There you go. There you go. Well, I mean, if you don't eat enough apples, you gotta go to the doctors. You may turn into an android.
Oh, you wouldn't want that to happen.
Oh. Well, I did. I mean, there's one time I used to be... you know what? I used to have an iPhone, I should say.
Which one?
Oh, man. I think the 4.
Okay.
And I went back to Android so fast it wasn't even funny.
What didn't you like about iPhone? Tell me.
Oh, everything.
What's everything, though? Elaborate.
The fact that I had to pay for my favorite apps.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The fact that I had to pay for my favorite apps. So, I mean, that was the worst part.
Yeah.
And ringtones.
Ringtones, yeah. Ringtone. I was never one to use ringtones.
I used to, but now I have to keep my phone on silent at work, so I don't really care about ringtones.
I've used both Android and iPhone. I like both of them for different reasons. I started out with the first phone I got was an Android, and I used it for a few years, and then I tried out iPhone. I think it was the iPhone 3G was the first one that I ever tried, and
3G, God.
Yeah. So it was,
welcome back to the dinosaur ages.
It was quite a long time ago. But when the iPhone came out, it was revolutionary as far as what it could do. Like, coming from people using flip phones and phones with keyboards on them, the iPhone was like the first touchscreen phone that really did a lot of things. And then Google announced their first Android phone, which was made by HTC. And Android and iPhone have been a, sort of an argument between a lot of people since they were started. You have people that like iPhone, they say, oh, Android's buggy and this and that. And then you have people that like Android and they say, oh, iPhones are expensive. That's like the main arguments.
No, see, So I have the Galaxy S9 right now.
It's a good phone.
And it's plus. You know, I got them big hands, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it compared to a lot of people that at work have the iPhones. And all I hear is bad things about iPhones. About it's so easy to break. You know, it's just so slow. And I'm sitting here typing away on my sweet Galaxy. Like, not a care in the world. And I believe it has better picture quality, too.
For cameras?
I mean, for camera-wise, yeah. And just the fact that all the apps are pretty much free. That's the one thing that put the dagger in for me. It's the free apps.
As far as the iPhones being slow, I wouldn't agree with you there because... I'll put it simple for a lot of people. Android is an open-sourced software program, basically. It's an operating system that any company in the whole world, any person, even you listening right now, could download the open-source version of Android and create your own version of Android if you wanted to. iPhone, on the other hand, iOS, is made specifically by Apple for iPhones, and they're not for any other phones in the world. So iOS is optimized to run on iPhone as best that it can. So out of all the iPhones I've ever used, I haven't found that they were slow. The only time when iPhones slow down is when they're a few years old and they've come out with a fewer new models, what iPhone...
Well, yeah, because they do the throttling crap.
Yes, which is a big thing that they got in some legal trouble, and they're not allowed to do that anymore. But...
Quotation marks.
Yeah. But if you see someone and they say, oh, my iPhone's slow, ask them what iPhone they're using. If they're using an iPhone 5 or something that came out, 6 years ago, it's going to be slow. The same thing with an Android phone. An Android phone from 6 years ago is going to be slow compared to what we have these days.
No, because I still have my 7 Edge. Well, actually, no, it's not.
Okay,
I still have.
that's not that old, though.
My 6, though, I should say. My Galaxy 6, because the kids use it. We just wiped everything and they play, go to town.
I forget which year the Galaxy S6 came out, but if you compared the Galaxy S6 with the iPhone that came out in the same year, I can almost guarantee you that they'd be pretty similar in speed.
Well, in my opinion, the best phone ever was the Sidekick.
Yeah, I see. In Canada, those didn't come out here in Canada, so they weren't.
Really?
Yeah, they weren't as popular as they were in the States.
Dude,
But-
the Sidekicks were they were OG. All right, if you didn't have a Sidekick in high school, you might as well go sit in the corner.
That sucks for stuff like that, eh? But I know what you mean.
It's kind of like when those Boost Mobile phone came out. The chirps.
Yeah.
Beep beep. Where you at? Those were the hot tickets. Everyone needed one of those.
Me and my friend had those. I forget what they called them, but they were like walkie-talkie flip phones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Boost Mobile or whatever. No, they weren't Boost Mobile yet. They're Nextels.
Nextel, yeah.
But it was
and then it turned into Boost.
It was $1 a day to chirp unlimited or something like that.
Yeah, the first one you sent was $1, and then all the ones after that were free.
Yeah, but you needed friends who
Also had the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Sidekick, in my opinion, was I love the Sidekick. I had the XL, I had the Slide. Shoot, I even had one of the original Sidekicks. The best thing about the Sidekicks is when you flipped it open, you can customize the sound. So it's mine sounded like Transformers.
Yeah.
It was Autobots roll out.
If you looked up a list online and looked at the top 10 most popular cell phones ever to come out, the Sidekick is definitely probably in the top 5, I would say.
Bro, you remember the Razor, though?
Yeah, the flip one.
Oh, my God. Those things are so... I went through probably 6 of those within a year because they were so easy to break.
But they're they were like the coolest flip phone that you could get at the time.
Oh, yeah. Because they even came out with the pink one, and everybody had to get the pink one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I got the silver one, so...
Did you hear there's a rumor that they're actually releasing the Razor again? But you know how when the old flip phone, on the bottom, you had the number pad and all that. On this new version, when you flip it open, it's just going to be a screen. It's just one big screen that folds into what would look like the Razor, the old Razor flip phone.
Didn't Samsung come out with a phone like that and it completely flopped?
It was called the Galaxy Fold, and it failed because because of the way the phone was constructed, it had never been done before. So it had this thin plastic film. The screen on it is plastic because you can't bend glass, okay?
Yeah.
This thin plastic film that was on the screen. You ever get a new phone and it'll come with a screen protector on it, and you can peel that off? It looks like it can be peeled off, and you just peel it off because it's just a plastic
piece of
flimsy.
plastic, yeah.
Well, the Galaxy Fold had the same thing, except it wasn't a screen protector. It was a major component of the phone. So Samsung had shipped out a bunch of units to reviewers online to test the phone and give their feedback, and a few people had actually thought that was a screen protector and peeled it off. And when you start peeling that off, the screen automatically stops functioning. The screen goes black, and it's just not good news. Well, Samsung, what they did was they recalled all those phones. They had everyone send them back, and they delayed the release of that phone. And up until this day, I still don't think they have an official release day for it because they're still trying to work out that flaw, if you would want to call it that.
Look, If we can have phones like the original Nokia, like indestructible, like you
The
can,
3310.
like you could set off a nuclear warhead and the thing will survive.
Yep.
I think your phone sales will go up, but
Yeah. There's
I
a
mean,
really
nowadays-
durable phone brand made by Sonam. Have you ever heard of Sonam?
no, can't say I have.
Well, they're meant for like construction sites and stuff like that, and you can drop them like 30 feet and stuff like that, and they wouldn't break.
Really?
Yeah. And
Well,
then
see,
you-
my job has iPhones as like our pager systems, I guess. But
yeah.
they have iPhones, and yet you drop them an inch. Like you put them on the desk, obviously, to do some paperwork and stuff. But you punch them off. Well, I wouldn't say punch them off, but you nudge them off, and they fall all but 3 feet, and then they straight demolish it. Like it's obsolete now.
Well, glass is glass. You know what I mean? Glass is going to break. Let me ask you this. Right now, on your current S9 Plus, do you have a case on it?
No, I have a screen protector.
You don't have... You have a screen protector. Okay.
See,
Now, what would to happen if you dropped your phone and it didn't have a screen protector on it? What do you think might happen or could happen?
before I got the screen protector, nothing
Yes.
actually. I dropped it before multiple times. Before my wife was all like, "Yeah, no, you have to get a screen protector," because the
Why
amount
did she
of times
tell
I've
you
dropped it.
you needed a screen protector?
Because I always drop it.
And what's going to happen?
It may break.
It may break. In my experience, any phone that has a glass screen, which is all of them, are susceptible to break if you drop it. That's just the reality of it. But then you have a company like Motorola who tried this new thing. It was a big phone in the States. Canada never got it. But I think it was called the Motorola Droid Force or something like that. And it had a screen on it that couldn't be broken.
Okay, I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Well, look it up. But it was really cool because you could run that phone without a case, without a screen protector, nothing. You wouldn't have to worry about the screen breaking. Now, the reason why the screen wouldn't break on it is because the screen was made of plastic. And plastic doesn't break as easy as glass.
Was
However,
it a touchscreen?
Yes, it was. It came out only a couple of years ago.
Hold on, I gotta look this up.
But the one major flaw that the phone had, which was easily fixed, I'll tell you how it was easily fixed, but the major flaw was that the screen was made of plastic, and plastic scratches easier than I don't know what. And if you put the phone in your pocket with like your keys or some like change or anything like that, your screen was done for. Like scratches were all over it.
What was the phone called? You said
I
it was
think
what?
it was called the Droid Force or something like that. Just Google Motorola unbreakable screen phone. But what people found out to avoid the screen getting scratched easily was put a glass screen protector on it, and the glass screen protector mimicked the screen being glass, but it wasn't breakable. So I think that was a really good phone, and that was a really good idea by Motorola. They're the only ones that have really explored with something like that. Most other companies, they say, "Oh, our phones are using the latest version of Gorilla Glass." Gorilla Glass is a company that provides glass screens, just the glass portion, to all major phone brands. And
So you type in Motorola unbreakable phone, it just brings you to all their phones.
that's marketing genius.
Yeah, it is.
But
I mean, I had a Motorola for a while.
which one?
Shoot, it's the one with all the Motorola Z2. It was the one with all the like you can get all the
Moto
attachments
Mods?
for. Yeah,
That's
like
genius.
I liked it.
Moto Mods were awesome.
They are. I mean, they had one for a camera. They had one for a projector, which I had.
A
Yeah, the
speaker. I had the
speaker one.
JBL speaker mod for mine.
Like I like that phone. I mean, the
Why'd
reason
you
why I
switch
got
to
it
the Samsung.
just because wanted an upgrade, and they haven't released the Moto Z3.
Yeah. The only gripe I have with the Moto Mods is what they did when they came out with the first one. They guaranteed that there would be 3 years of Moto Mod support. So if you bought the Moto Mod or the Moto Z1, if they came out with a Moto Mod 3 years later, it would still be compatible with your Moto Z1. However, the back of the phones haven't changed since the Z1 came out in order to incorporate that promise that they guaranteed when they came out with the Z1. So when you flip them, like the phones all look identical, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Which is good and bad, you know. You buy a phone and you got all these cool mods for it, and then next year, if it was like iPhone or Apple, they would come out with a whole new sort of mod thing, and they would never be compatible with the year before. But Motorola made sure that 3 years you'd be able to use whatever mods they came out with, and they have some really cool ones out now. Like they have this one where it basically turns your phone into like a gaming thing, where on each side of the phone, like you turn your phone sideways, and on each side, like on one side there's buttons, and then on the other side there's a joystick.
Well,
So it
they
makes
don't even, I mean, you don't have to have a Motorola for that.
no,
I mean,
but
you
I'm
can
saying
get it.
that's like a native thing. Like they created that specifically for the Motorola, so it will work best with the Motorola. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I don't know. Like, I just like my Galaxies.
So you're telling me if someone were to let you have an iPhone X, say, for like a week, and you could only use the iPhone, you think that you wouldn't like it?
No, because I had an iPhone.
Which one did you have? You had the number 4 though.
No, but I also have. I had one. I had the 8 before for a little bit,
Okay.
and I just didn't like it.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that I like on iPhone that you can't do on Android, like FaceTime. Now, people are
Well,
gonna.
I mean,
people
they
are
have-
gonna. Yeah, I know you're gonna be one of the people. Google Hangouts, this and that, blah blah blah. None of it on Android works as good as it does for FaceTime.
Duo. Yeah, that's what.
Nobody uses that. Nobody uses that.
Actually, a lot of people do.
Okay, like if I wanted to face chat my wife who uses an iPhone and I use an Android, what am I going to do? Be like, oh hey, go download Google Duo?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
If she loves you, she would.
If you pull up that, she might download it.
You don't love me?
What I've been doing lately, though, to avoid having to download FaceChat apps and all this, Facebook Messenger is great for video chat and stuff like that. And everyone has Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, boom. There's another reason why you don't need an iPhone for FaceChat.
No, I'm saying you don't need an iPhone for FaceChat, but it works really well. And then you have stuff like iMessage that has like cool features for chatting, group messaging, to do
what?
group.
All because it shows you that someone read your message, so you can sit there in silence by your fireplace because you just text this girl who had an iPhone and just left you on red.
Sounds like you got some problems. That never happened to me before.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you gonna start crying? Don't cry.
Leave me alone, okay?
But you know, you have Android diehards and you have iPhone diehards. I've tried them both. Now, people aren't going to believe me when I say this, and you might not even believe me when I say this. I've had probably over 300 different phones.
No, I believe you because
I buy and sell them. So I flip phones because everyone needs a phone. Everyone's constantly buying phones. So what I'll do is I'll buy a phone for really cheap. I'll try it out for a little bit. Just, because if it's not one that I've never had before, I'll definitely buy it. Use it for a little bit. Try out all the features, this and that. And then I'll flip it and make money off of it. So it's kind of like a little side business for me, but I like Android and iPhone. I'm not one of these people that can only pick one. So I know you like Android, and I know there's a lot of people that are hardcore on each side. I feel like I can play it in the middle. You know
What
what
about
I mean?
the Blackberry?
That's another one that I think
They try to come back out, right?
they have some Android phones that they've released recently. Like they have the BlackBerry Priv, which is an Android phone. They had the BlackBerry. It was called the BlackBerry D-Tech 50, and then they had the D-Tech 60, and then they have some other Android ones. They've kind of played around with Android, but the reason why BlackBerry is still in business is because BlackBerry has really good security software, and a lot of major companies use their security software for their businesses and stuff. That's why BlackBerry is still able to make phones. I think if they only made phones when people stopped using Blackberries, they probably would have went bankrupt. And I know I bring stuff up like this all the time, but I just want to point out that BlackBerry is a Canadian company.
Okay. Enough. Enough.
He said enough. You got to be proud if something's made in your country. You got to be proud.
Everything we talk about so far has been made in our country. All right, so I mean, I'll give you that point
Think
then.
so?
Whatever.
Where Samsung's made?
Down the street from me.
No, Samsungs are made in Korea, bud.
Yeah, and who owns Korea?
Not America.
We do now.
Guess who owns America?
No one. That's who.
No, China owns America.
That's blasphemy.
That's another topic we can get into on another day.
I think if they would ever bring back, as I freaking popped my face, oh man, that hurt. But if they ever brought back the sidekick, I would go back to it. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean, wouldn't that be so sick if they came out with a cool sidekick phone that ran Android or something?
I don't care if it was like Android or iPhone. If it said, presenting the new sidekick, I would be all over it. I mean,
You would pre-order 10
like
of them, wouldn't you?
touchscreen and just start flipping them. Like, last one ever. I think I still have my old, like, the one I had senior year of high school. I have that somewhere.
Really? See, you just
Yeah.
don't throw out anything, do you?
Well, I mean, I wasn't going to throw out that because I was like, it's going to make a comeback. I know it is.
Those were memories.
That's a fossil. I'm going to show my kids that one day. Hey, Daddy, what's that? This is before touchscreens.
My first phone was a cheap little flip phone that it was actually the walkie-talkie phone, the flip phone. And I saved up my money as a young kid, bought that phone, and then I saved up money and bought like a plan for it and put time on it and all this. And my mom had noticed that I had done that because I kind of like, I didn't buy it without her knowing, but it was just something that I just did. I didn't really ask for permission. And eventually she noticed that I liked the phone a lot. So we went to TELUS, which is a company here in Canada, and she got a phone and she got me a brand new phone, which was also a flip phone. So it wasn't like I upgraded any, but I was on a contract now. I was one
Flip
of the cool
phones were the
people
bomb,
with a contract. They were, yeah. Flip phones were a time in history that a lot of people won't forget.
Yeah. One thing that won't be forgotten is when texting came out and my mom got that first bill.
I still remember the huge bill that my mom got when I used to text you.
Oh my God. That was before. Well, that was
like
actually before they started
75
charging.
cents a text or something like that.
No, because mine was free down here. It was free texting.
But Canada is lame and charged. They still do on certain plans. On certain plans, they'll ding you like 25 cents per text message.
Dang.
That's
when Facebook Messenger
it's
comes
rough. I think my current plan, though, that I'm on, I'm allowed to text the States. I just can't call, but I can text.
No, down here we don't. They just eliminated any type of texting out of the States.
Really?
Yeah.
So I could text you, but you couldn't reply.
We're not going to test that because I don't want to, one day get a $5,000 bill because someone texted me.
Yeah, just stick to Facebook Messenger, which is... If I didn't have a phone, as long as I had Wi-Fi and something that I could access Facebook Messenger on, I'd be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone uses Facebook Messenger.
Facebook is the new, newspaper.
Yeah. It is,
That's
yeah.
how I keep up with the times. Oh, man.
Well, we really appreciate you guys listening to our chat today about phones. It's something that I could honestly talk for hours and hours about. If you don't know me personally, you don't know that I really like phones. I love trying phones. I love buying phones. I love just phones, okay? I'm a fanatic.
Not me.
And,
as long as I can text and make a phone call, I'm good. And play some games.
If you learned something in this podcast, I feel like it was time well spent because, you're furthering your knowledge of different things.
I guess we turned educational.
Yeah, we're an educational podcast now, guys.
Yeah. Woohoo. Well, if you guys haven't noticed, we have merchandise. We actually got a new title screen as well on our Facebook page. So that means you have to go over to our Facebook
thanks
page.
To your friend.
Exactly. She did some lovely work. And we also have some more work in the make.
Work in the merc.
Work in the merc. All right. Sorry. But go ahead and like our Facebook page. We have a, whatchamacallit? I forgot what it's called. Thank you. That thing too. Everything's linked on our Facebook. So regardless, you have to go to our Facebook page.
For Squirrely and The Bean podcast, I'm Squirrely.
And I am the Bean.
Hit it, Morgan Freeman.
Oh, Squirrely and the Bean is among the smoothest sounding podcasts I've ever heard. That's right. It's absolutely fantastic.